It's time for Dodger baseball.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers lose an embarrassing, an ugly, a terrible loss for the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw, he grind out his start, gave the Dodgers a quality start. The Dodgers offense, they struggled at times. They put up 4 runs, but for the most part, they didn't look good as well. We have a lot to get into. This bullpen is an absolute dumpster fire. This is an absolute tire fire of a bullpen. This Dodgers bullpen, they couldn't stop a nosebleed right now. They couldn't stop a JV baseball team right now. That's how bad they are. We have so much to get into in this one because, look, it's looking bleak for this Dodgers team if they don't fix this bullpen. But first, I want to start off by saying you're now home with Jim Beam and Dodgers Nation. Please remember to drink responsibly. But thanks for rocking with us after a rough loss for this Dodgers team. First question I have if I was sitting in that press room right now is you got Evan Phillips, your best high-leverage reliever. You used him yesterday in a game where you're up 5-0, and today you have Yency Almonte. He goes out there. He's solid in his first inning. He looks okay. Then you bring him out there. I mean, he was solid there in the 7th inning. He was really a different story. And then when he comes out there in the 8th, he was absolutely atrocious. Gives up the double to Jimenez, and he gives up the home run, the double-double there to Berger, that 2-run shot that changed the game. We have so much to get into. The Dodgers offense, too, I'm not letting you guys off the hook either. 4 runs there in the 6th inning, but they go 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. That 5th inning was, in my opinion, the ugliest inning of the year for the Dodgers from top to bottom. Thankfully, they have Goat Shaw on the mound, who had 2 big punch-outs to get the Dodgers out of that one, but you had the error by Miguel Rojas. You had the terrible at-bats there by Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. After you got a rally started to get that inning going, you had runners on the corners, and what did they do? They didn't do anything with it. You had the Rojas single to right, you had Barnes single to center, and Rojas ended up at third base. Dodgers had runners on the corners. Then Mookie Betts, he proceeds to foul out on the first pitch. Then Freddie Freeman, he fouls out on the first pitch to third. So the Dodgers, they were aggressive on first pitch, and then Mike Clevenger, he goes out of the game, and then Santos, he comes in, and then JD Martinez, he expands the zone. He swings and misses at a slider out of the zone, so they don't get anything in that inning. But yeah, an ugly game right there. Really a big L for Dave Roberts or Andrew Friedman, who's ever making these decisions. It really defies analytics. If you look at Yency Almonte's numbers in his 2nd inning out after an up-down, they're bad. That was a terrible decision. We're going to get into this. Investia, he wasn't good. Taylor Scott, he's not a big league reliever at all whatsoever. But here we go. Let's get in the comments here, guys. I'm always looking for that Jornitos shot taker comment of the night. If I see one of those, you're getting one of these. Call up the minor league bullpen guys from Careless Whisper. Kevin Uhas, Jansen Bessie need to go. We got Mark Ortega, D-Mac. We are in this serious woes. We got Jelly Donut. Forget Syndergaard. Roberts is the weakest link. That is from, by the way, any fire takes, anything hot, anything spicy, you're going to get one of these.
Fire take.
If I get a burn, you're going to see one of these.
Finish him.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I think this was not a good night for Dave Roberts. Not a good night at all whatsoever. To have Yency Almonte go out there and try to see if you can get some more outs, I just didn't think that was a good decision there in the 8th inning. He looked absolutely atrocious there. He gives the double to Jimenez. He gives the home run to Berger. That tied things at 4. He gave up the lead, and the Dodgers, they had no answer. So we're going to break down this entire game, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. Like I said, this bullpen, an absolute dumpster fire. This is, heading into today, they were already one of the worst bullpens in the game. They were bottom 5, but in the month of June, they're the 2nd worst bullpen in baseball. I've actually ran the numbers. Well, actually, I did really quickly here, but they have a 6.65 ERA in June. A 6.65 ERA in June. You saw the struggles they had on the road. It continued tonight. Like I said, this bullpen could not stop a T-ball team. They couldn't stop a JV baseball team. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. It is bad. It is ugly. And this team, they are not going to go anywhere unless they fix this bullpen. I got news for you. The external options, yes, the AA guys are there. Yes, they have potential. But to expect them to come up and be key pieces on a team with World Series aspirations, that's delusional. That's unrealistic. Okay, let's just be honest about that. You have to go out there, make some trades, or just say you're punting on this season because you want to go after Ohtani and you want to sell tickets and sell jerseys, because last time I checked, you got one World Series title in 10 years. That's not good enough. That, you consider the resources, that isn't acceptable. I think the Dodgers need to do more, and I think Andrew Friedman, he's going to learn you can't shop at the clearance section at the 99-cent store and expect something from a Whole Foods or whatever it is. You have to invest. I mean, Chris Martin going to the Boston Red Sox on a really nice deal. I mean, you have not invested in this bullpen, and it's rearing its ugly head right now, and they're a dumpster fire, and they're an absolute tire fire of a pen right now, and it's showing. But here we go. We got Bob Perez. I just think this Dodgers team will make the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, it's an expanded postseason. You would hope a team that has a payroll north of $230 million would make the postseason. I mean, is that the standard here? Are those the expectations? I mean, I don't think this team plays just to make the postseason. Making the postseason and not winning the World Series is definitely not considered a good year. That's considered an unsuccessful season. And look, since the Dodgers won the World Series, if you look at their last full 162 game seasons, 2019 they get bounced in the NLDS. 2021, what happens? They don't go the distance. They get bounced in the NLCS. 2022 they get bounced in the NLDS. So hey, this team, they're gonna have to find a way to do a little more. But put me in, coach. That's from Rosemary Rodriguez. Yeah, get Rosemary in there. Rosemary Rodriguez. There's our first shot takers comment of the night from our friends over at Jorritos. Shot for him. I'm going to have to probably rush this after this bullpen. This bullpen makes you want to drink. No hope in this postseason unless we make a trade. That's from Mookie Betts. We got Diane Schroeder in the comments. What's up, Diane? By the way, I know it's a loss, but hey, guess what? At least we're talking Dodger baseball. Even though it's in the negative light, even though it's after a loss, hey, we're still talking Dodger baseball, so be sure to smash that like button, because your show, I'm just hosting it, man of the fan here, and yeah, we'll get through this together. A little think tank, a little therapy session, because that bullpen, we got Decam bullpen full of bum pitchers. Mookie Betts is here. WTF Roberts. Yeah, look, Dave Roberts needs to explain himself. Dave Roberts, yes, I know that these aren't the best pieces. Yes, this bullpen, if you look at the talent there, these guys are volatile. 2-3 years from now, will Yency Almonte and Alex Vesia be pitching at the big league level? I've got my doubts. I think that, I mean, it's a situation where they know what they need to do to have success at this level, and you want to put these guys in spots where they can have success. And I definitely think that they do have some value, but yeah, you're seeing across the board just a lot of weaknesses. And I mean, look, that 8th inning, bring out Brusdar Graterol. It's simple as that. I mean, yeah, you would like to have Evan Phillips available, but you burned him in a silly situation the night prior, and tonight, I think Brusdar Graterol made a lot more sense, even to Shelby Miller, who's back off the bereavement list. So, yeah, to me, tonight was managerial malpractice by Dave Roberts. I won't let that Dodgers offense off the hook, because we got to talk about that. Also have to talk about Clayton Kershaw, who, win, lose, or draw, he's going to be my Dodger dog of the game.
Dodger dog of the game.
And the reason for that is he gutted out. I mean, Clayton Kershaw, it was not Kershaw's fault. Clayton Kershaw went out there without his best stuff and still was able to perform, still was able to give his team a chance to win, still was in line to win this game. And I thought it was very impressive what he was able to do, considering that slider command just wasn't there. Didn't have the bite, didn't have the depth. He was leaving stuff up, he was leaving stuff out over the heart of the plate, but still managed to just hold this White Sox team to 2 runs. He allowed 2 earned runs off 6 hits in 6 innings of work through 97 pitches, had 5 punch outs and 2 walks. That is, when you consider how bad the starting rotation has been at times as far as consistency goes, you will take that every single time with the bullet. So, yeah, it was just not good. And Yency Almonte, I mean, look at this bullpen as a whole. Yency, he gives up 2 runs in an inning of work, and he wasn't able to get any outs there when he came back out in the 8th inning. And then Alex Vesia, he gets the loss tonight. He was over 3 on the year. He's able to just get 1 out within 17 pitches, had a punch out, an earned run, a hit. Of course, the hit batters are hurting this team. The wild pitches are hurting this team. It was just sloppy all around. And Taylor Scott, of course, he allows 3 earned runs in .2 innings, in 2/3 of an innings of work. And then Victor Gonzalez, he comes in there and he allows those 2 hits. So I mean, this bullpen just not, they don't. I've been like a broken record this whole year. I said this before the season started. This bullpen does not have the ability to miss bats. It doesn't dominate hitters. This year is pointless unless you replace these guys, some of these guys, with guys that can dominate hitters, because that's what plays up in the postseason. That's why the Padres beat the Dodgers, right? Suarez mowing down Justin Turner. You had a lot of situations like that. You need guys with gas that can miss bats, or else we're basically just spinning our wheels here. But here we go. Why out Vesia in a high leverage situation? We got Careless Whisper, fire Roberts. His bullpen management sucks. Call me up. Yeah, I always say, man, if there's a wrong button to push, Dave Roberts at times when it comes to the bullpen, he will find a way to push it. I just think sending Yency Almonte back out there in a two-run game when you consider the year he's had, what sense did that make? You're talking about a Yency Almonte, a guy has a 6.75 ERA. That made zero sense. No, he's not Yency Almonte. There's no money in there. Okay, the piggy bank's broken. That's broke, right? Okay, so yeah, it made no sense whatsoever at all. Just didn't pass the smell test, and it's part of the reason why the Dodgers lost this game. Don't blame Dave, blame the front office. Hey, if you've been watching this show, you know that I think that it's mainly on the front office. The front office is the people that they don't place enough emphasis on the bullpen. I think there's a little bit of delusion. I think there's a little bit of, hey, we can fix anyone, right? We got the magic elixir. Teach them the sweeper slider. We're going to send them to Dr. Pryor's pitching lab. Guess what? A lot of the people that have been in that pitching lab this year, they've been busts. Thor's been a thud, okay? So a lot of these second-year bullpen pieces, they haven't worked out. There's been more misses than makes this year's coming out of that pen, and I think that, hey, you're going to have to invest in bullpen pieces. Okay, get out the checkbook from Barry over on Facebook. Charles Lee, our pitching staff needs a reset or fuel that goes in an A fighter jet. I like that. That's a good comment there. Dodgers got to do better to attract Ohtani. NS, I'm not even trying to think about Ohtani right now. I really am not. I mean, Ohtani, he's a guy, you can't win a World Series with one great player. You can't. You need a complete roster with a bullpen that has weapons, with a lineup that has weapons, with a starting rotation. And look, there's a reason why Ohtani hasn't even sniffed the playoffs on the Angels, despite playing next to the greatest player of his generation in Mike Trout. So, yeah, hey, it'd be great to have the show of Shohei Ohtani, the Shohei show here, Showtime back in the real LA. It'd be great. It'd be a great spectacle. But hey, last time I checked, I'm in this to win. I'm in this for the Dodgers to win the World Series. The reality is, hey, until they win more World Series, this franchise has done more with less than any franchise out there as far as the resources they poured into this experiment, to this experience here. So yeah, you definitely need to see more. We have Burger ate us up for lunch. That's from Mookie. D-Mac, Alex is still a mess. That's from DKM. Yeah, absolutely. Not going to push back on that. He has had some pretty solid appearances, and I think that, yeah, there has been some encouraging sequences there. You're seeing a little better command. He is avoiding the heart of the plate more than he was early in the year, but the reality is the results aren't there. He is just not getting the job done at the bottom. At the end of the day, then that's the bottom line. And I think what it all boils down to is, yeah, I mean, I don't know how confident he is in that fastball, because his fastball, it's not a high velo fastball, but it definitely has life, especially when he's hitting his spots. But Randy Wood, Roberts, as usual, totally sucks when it comes to handling the bullpen. I'm not sure what Freeman has in mind, but letting Chris Martin and others leave from last year, we know we now have the worst. Yeah, exactly. What Dylan Zink, how many blown leads by the bullpen before the offense just gives up? That's a really interesting point, Dylan, over on YouTube, because it has to be demoralizing, and you can't expect an offense to score 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 runs every single game and try to carry this bullpen, because at some point, guys are going to fall into slumps. At some point, they're going to face better pitching. That is what we've seen from this Dodgers team. Last summer, 111 wins, yay, against the Rockies, the Padres. Cool, a day game in a Wednesday at 12 o'clock with 26,000 people in the stands, a game that no one will remember. It's all great. It's all fun at the time. But hey, man, at the end of the day, when you're in the postseason, you're facing better competition. You're facing better pitching. And we have enough examples to know that, yeah, that's when the Dodgers tend to fall in those slumps. That's when you see people tweeting out, Dodgers over 21, the runners in scoring position. Over 22, the runners in scoring position, right? So the point I'm trying to make is you need better pitching to have a chance, even if this Dodgers offense is able to produce like they have been, which has been at an elite level. You can't expect that in the postseason. That is where my eyes are at, and hopefully they get to the postseason, right? At this point, thankfully, the Diamondbacks lost to the Phillies tonight, 4-3. The Dodgers still just 3 games back in the NL West at 38-30, but still seeing another series loss is literally the same reason why I have acne. That's a fire take. It's just kind of, but yeah, no, I mean, I mean, just look at tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow, I mean, it's hot garbage, man. I mean, you got a bullpen game, Michael Grove. I mean, it's this team better score some runs. That's all I got to say. But, yeah, I mean, if you look at this game, Clayton Kershaw, like I said, he fought. He gave some home runs there. And, yeah, definitely that was an issue. The top of the second inning, Jimenez grounded to second. Next batter, first pitch to Berger. Hit a solo shot to center to make it 1-0 White Sox. Four-seam fastball, left it up, out over the plate. Not the best command for Kersh tonight. And the next batter, Yasmani Grandal. He had a one-out single to right. And then 0-1 single to right. Grandal goes to third, four-seam up. Then four-pitch walk to Andrus. To load the bases. And with the bases loaded in 2 outs, he gets Anderson to ground to third. So Kersh gives up that solo shot. But really the damage there was 25 pitches. Because you consider that Kersh went 6 innings. If that pitch count hadn't got inflated, maybe he goes into the 7th in this one. You don't see Yency Almonte for 2 innings, and maybe the Dodgers do walk away with a win and a series win, but that just wasn't the case. And then, bottom of the second, Rojas 2-out double to center. Barnes struck out swinging on 3 pitches. Dodgers does not be able to get rallies going consistently. Jump there to the top of the third. Vote flies to center for the first out. Then 1-1 pitch to Robert Jr. He homers to left, a curveball down that just didn't have that bite, didn't have that great depth, left it out over the plate, just really didn't have the greatest touch, the greatest feel for his breaking stuff, especially early on in this one. That makes it 2-0 White Sox. Next batter, Kersh. He strikes out Jimenez on 3 pitches. So then he gets Berger to fly out to center for the third out. But here we go. Yency sucks, bro. That's from Daniel. We got Almonte and Vesia better at throwing up than throwing pitches. That's from Carl. That's a burn.
Finish him.
We got Leonardo over on Facebook. What up, D-Mac from Phoenix? AZ Dodger fan here. First off, fire Robert. Second, bullpen sucks more than a drive-through car wash vacuum. There you go. You know my sense of humor. I appreciate that. That's a fire take.
Fire take.
I love that from my friend over on Facebook, Leonardo. Bullpen sucks from DJ Jesse Replace. I guess the season is over. Then that's from Ray Barrios. We got United One. We absolutely need to trade for pitchers. Yeah, it's great to see that people are finally on this bandwagon, right? I remember saying this a few weeks ago, a month ago. People are like, oh, no, we're going to be fine, this and that. No, look, I have seen this movie before, and the villain always comes in there in the postseason. They don't have a chance. Well, hey, now it's just about treading water. Now it's about just finding a way to stop the bleeding at this point. And, it's the unfortunate thing for the Dodgers is we're still a few months away from the end of the trade deadline, and they're going to have to find some answers very quickly here if hopefully Daniel Hudson can come back in the next few weeks, and that is the plan at the moment. And hopefully Julio Urias can come back too. He threw a bullpen session today. Dave Roberts said it was the best bullpen he's seen from Julio. So hopefully he faces hitters soon and makes his way back, because that's going to go a long way to bring consistency, is having a Julio Urias, their opening day starter, back in that rotation. But just the pieces in that bullpen, you're going to war with butter knives, right? I mean, you don't have the ammunition there. But DKM fire Roberts. He has no ability to manage anything. Why didn't we see this after 7 seasons with this punk? He has going hard today. We need a bullpen. That's from Felipe Jimenez. Roberts is crap with the bullpen. Victor Baños, my respect to Kershaw. Don't have his best stuff and kept us in the game. Yeah, fantastic point, Victor Baños over on YouTube. And he settled down. I mean, he definitely came back out there, and it was evident early on that he just did not have the feel for that slider, and you were a little concerned with the pitch count getting up. But it's Clayton Kershaw. He's going to battle. You jump to the top of the 4th inning. He gets Benintendi to fly out to left for the first out, and then Grandal, he doubled to left. That at bat, Grandal, by the way, really had Kershaw's number tonight. Great at bat for him. And in that at bat, Kersh fell behind 3-0, works his way back in the count. In the 7th pitch of that at bat, just kind of left that slider up and in, and give Grandal credit, man, swinging a hot bat, the nice piece of hitting right there. Then next batter, 1-2 pitch. He strikes out Frazier with the slider away. Then he walks Andrus. I mean, he could not get Andrus out at all. Walks him on 7 pitches, and he makes it to second on a wild pitch. And thankfully, Kersh gets Anderson to ground out. And really nice play, really fantastic play, really a comebacker by Anderson there with 2 outs. Kersh slides, fields it, makes the perfect throw, gets out of the inning. That is the effort you want to see. That is the little things. Like, there's a reason why Clayton Kershaw is great at holding runners, but the rest of this team isn't, because Clayton Kershaw, he pays attention to all the little details, all the little elements of a game. That's why he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's why he's an all-time great. I think some of these guys pay attention to what Clayton Kershaw does, because Yeah, you can't beat Clayton Kershaw. You're not going to Cooperstown, but it's the little things. I mean, look at that inning right there. A defensive play by Clayton Kershaw on a night when he did not have his best stuff. It makes the slide, fields it, goes to first, gets Anderson out. By the way, Tim Anderson has not hit a home run since July 15th of last season. That's pretty wild. But, yeah, and then comes out in the fifth, a 1-2-3 inning on 9 pitches. Fantastic. Then top of the sixth inning, let's jump into the comments here because you guys are on fire tonight. Pryor should be fired from Michael Carrillo. It's funny because last year was about Robert Van Scoyoc. Now it's on Mark Pryor. Good times. We got things need to change. That's from Juan Hernandez. AC/DC freak. Alex Reyes out for the year too. Yeah, it's unfortunate. He already had surgery, actually, so we'll see what happens. He has the option for the 2024 season. But, yeah, I mean, that's someone that they were banking on. All right. This team needs help before Ohtani. That's from Emar. We got Jeff Dubas. Can't put all our eggs in the Ohtani basket. Yeah, we've talked about that, mentioned that point as well. Look, you got these guys on one-year deals. You got the J.D. Martinez's, the Jason Hayward, who I think he's a guy that we'd probably talk about as someone that really made a big impact today. He's a guy that we probably would have highlighted more, but considering that they lost, you really can't do that. But Jason Hayward, he'll probably be gone next year. He goes 1 for 4 tonight. He's just really picking it up, man. He's been everything the Dodgers could have ever hoped for. He's going to be my Mitch Lotta half-full take of the night. If you guys have any Mitch Lotta half-full takes, feel free to drop those. I know you do not want to for the most part, considering this loss. Diane Schroeder, $20. Appreciate that. It's going to go to all bullpen pieces. I'm going to hand-deliver this to him tomorrow. Andrew Friedman took the season off. Take this and get yourself some carne asada fries and a few shots of Hornitos. Diane, we're going to go ahead and make that another Hornitos comment of the game, guys. Here we go. From Hornitos, our friends, premium tequila. Please drink responsibly. Yeah, $20. That's how much Andrew Friedman spends on a bullpen, right? That's how much he invests in a bullpen. And you get what you pay for. In this bullpen, they've neglected it. They've made some assumptions about guys that are going to come back. Well, you've already seen these dominoes fall. The Alex Reyes domino, that already fell. He won't be returning. Talking about Blake Trine in September. I don't want to hear about Blake Trine until he's on the mound. Last time he came back, I mean, I think if he comes back healthy, he could help this team, and you're definitely going to use him. But, yeah, I think you just can't make those assumptions. You have to just look at those guys as icing on the cake, the cherry on top, if they come to fruition. But, yeah, if you want to go out there and make some moves, you're going to have to be aggressive. Because BC, we've won the same number of World Series last 34 years as the Angels. It's embarrassing. Good point, BC, and I'm with you 100%. I'm ready for Roberts to resign from my life. That's from Michael Carrillo. We got In the Pen. We got dedicated Dodger Blue fan over here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. CT3 land praying for the bleeding to stop. That's from Charles Lee. Jason, this team stinks. Matty Man Dodge. The lights going out at the stadium was very symbolic. Yeah, I mean, we got Leonard. I read your comment, man, but keep flooding. No, I like it. It's a total mess. We got man, Leonardo Blanco, man, you're really going hard with your joke. I like it, though. Troy Hammond, I think bringing back Hanser Alberto, Russell Martin out of the pen are much better options than Beavis, Almonte, and Butthead Vesia. These two have been terrible since Game 4 of the NLDS last year. There are problems. I like the Beavis and Butthead reference, first of all. Beavis. Yeah, I mean, look, what more can you say, man? I mean, they just did not perform. Let's talk about the bottom of the 5th inning there. And look, it felt like the Dodgers had a chance to really get going on this one. I mean, today they were able to come back there in the 6 innings. The Dodgers as a whole, they were out hit 13-7. They get 4 runs on 7 hits, had the error. But, yeah, I want to talk about this 5th inning. This 5th inning for the Dodgers because bottom of the 5th inning, we kind of already talked about actually at the top of the show, but yeah, the Dodgers had runners on first and third after Rojas singled to right on a 2-2 pitch. The next batter, Austin Barnes, he singled to center. Then Mookie Betts, he fouls to first for the first out. And then next batter, Freddie Freeman, he fouls to third for the second out. 4 of the last 5 Dodgers had offered on the first pitch. They were ambushing for some reason, but without having any success. And JD Martinez, he strikes out on a slider out of the zone. He's just chasing there after Santos came in. And then top of the 6th inning, 1-1 pitch to Berger. He hits a ground ball to short, and it gets right through the legs of Rojas. Goes right under the legs of Rojas. Yes, it was a hot shot. It had a 590 expected batting average. It was 111.9 miles per hour off the bat, but an error by Miguel Rojas, and then 1-2 pitch to Benintendi, a ground ball up the middle. Rojas flips it to Mookie at second, and the flip was high. Mookie tried to barehand it, but his foot wasn't even on the bag. It looked like he did get it, though. It looked like he did get there with his left foot. I think that he was out, but still, they don't get the play there. And then Kershaw, that's another thing today, too. If you look at this team, he did have some trouble with the bottom of that White Sox lineup. In the bottom of the White Sox lineup, Benintendi goes 1 for 4. Berger goes 2 for 5 with the home run. Grandal goes 3 for 5. Frazier goes 2 for 5. So he struggled with the bottom of that lineup, as did the other Dodgers, but he comes back on the 2-2 pitch with runners on first and second, and he gets Grandal swinging on a curveball down the zone for the first out. Then he strikes out Frazier looking with a dotted slider inside corner for the second out. And then 1-1 pitch, he gets Andrews to line to Rojas, who definitely made a really nice play. They get the lead runner on the fielder's choice. They get the force at third to get out of the jam. And then bottom of the 6th inning, Dodgers offense gets it going. Dave Peralta, he bounces one back to the box that deflected off the glove of Santos. Anderson tried to make the play, but he was saved. And then Chris Taylor, he gets a bloop single to center off the end of the bat. And Dodgers got runners right there on first and second, no outs. And 1-1 pitch to Hayward. He hits a line drive base hit to left. The throw gets past Grandal. Santos, he doesn't get back. He doesn't back up the throw. And Peralta, he scores to get the Dodgers on the board to make it 2-1. And, yeah, the Dodgers really bad at handling off-speed pitches tonight. So Santos comes in. You got a little gas. You do have some off-speed, but they definitely fared better. Then Vargas, he draws a walk to load the bases. Next batter, Rojas, with the bases loaded. He takes strike 3 at the bottom of the zone for the first out. Had a little pitch clock violation at the beginning of that at-bat that really set him back. And next batter, Austin Barnes, hits a chopper up the middle. Anderson tries to go to second base. It was late. Vargas beats out the throw. Great hustle there by Miggy Vargas to beat out the throw on the fielder's choice attempt. And then Hayward, he scores to tie it at 2. Andrews' foot wasn't on the base at second base to begin with, so he was going to be okay. And then Joe Kelly comes in to face Mookie Betts, and Mookie, he singles to left to score Hayward and Vargas to make it 4-2 Dodgers. And with runners on the corners at 1 out, Joe Kelly walks Freddie Freeman. Bases loaded, JD Martinez, he strikes out swinging for the second out, chased a four-seam up and in, and then Peralta, he grounded to short to end the inning. But the Dodgers, they get off the mat. They get off the schneid. They get 4 runs on 4 hits. They take a 4-2 lead there, and you're starting to feel good about it. But, yeah, then it all fell apart later. But, yeah, here's a good question from Armando. Is it time to press the panic button if you are the Dodgers? I gave you the numbers. You got an ERA in the month of June at 6.65. This bullpen couldn't stop a nosebleed. This bullpen couldn't stop a JV baseball team at this point. This bullpen really is the weakest I've seen it on the Dodgers in the last 8 to 10 years. This is how bad this bullpen is right now, and there's really no answers. There's no guys. Yes, Daniel Hudson is going to come back. He's going to have an impact. He's not going to solve all their problems. He's not going to solve all their problems because you're still not getting the length from the starters for the most part, save for Bobby Miller and Clayton Kershaw. I will say that Tony Gonsolin, a really nice outing yesterday. He goes 6 strong, so hopefully that continues. To get Julio back, you're starting to feel good about it. But really, you really have 3 starters you can trust at the moment. 3 starters you can trust, and you got a bullpen game and Michael Grove. So, yeah, that's very difficult. But starters and relievers, we need them. Smash that like button. Appreciate you, Diane Truder. Boomer Assassin. What up, Boomer Assassin? Always rocking with us here. A Dodgers Nation post-game show day 1. Trade for pitchers and put Grove in the bullpen. That's a great take. I'm going to give you a Hornitos take of the night because, yeah, I mean, we've been talking about that. I think Grove, he's a guy, when you look at his stuff, 98 miles per hour, definitely profiles as a guy that you could possibly see having success out of that bullpen. So I definitely think that that is where he ultimately ends up. I even think Dustin May possibly ends up in the bullpen later in his career if he can't avoid injury. So, yeah, it makes sense. But should have had Phillips in the 8th. That's, well, I mean, Phillips, I don't even know what Dave Roberts said after the game. I'll try to look here, but yeah, I mean, you used Phillips yesterday in a inconsequential game with a 5-run lead, and today you throw Yency Almonte out there for a 2 for 2 innings and to start the 8th, and he gets rocked. He gets absolutely rocked, gives up the double and the home run. But we got I no longer trust Roberts, Jesse Hopkins. That's Jesse Hopkins over on YouTube. We got Strider, hear you, 120. Bad enough the bullpen is struggling. We stink on allowing base runners to keep stealing bases. We have to be better, D-Mac. I agree with you 100%, Strider, hear you. I mean, I think collectively, this is one of the sloppiest games I've seen. This team looked like, as a whole, as a unit, that they had their Manta mask on, that they had their Manta sleep mask on the entire game. And Manta Sleep, they make the world's best sleep masks and sleep accessories. Everything they do is to enable better lives through better sleep. They work relentlessly to improve and optimize sleep so that you can have the energy to live your best life. Check out mantasleep.com today so you can sleep better anywhere, anytime. Get your Manta mask today. Use the code DN2023. You saw wild pitches. You saw hit batters. You saw base running blunders. They actually threw out a base runner today. Hallelujah. I mean, still the worst ratio, 85 stolen base against to just throwing out 10. But still, we got... do you guys want Scott Alexander back? He's not good enough to pitch in the Giants bullpen. That's from Splash God. Leonardo Blanco. Yo, D-Mag, what do you expect from the Dollar Tree bullpen? Yeah, Leonardo. I mean... what have I been saying, right? I mean, it's the clearance section of the 99-cent store at times, and oh my goodness, this Chad, I mean, you wrote all this. I can't read all this because this is long. This is this is like a Dickens novel here, but this loss is on Dave Roberts. You have first and third and nobody out in the bottom of the 5th, and you can't score. How to put pressure on the defense. How about putting the ball? How about a hit and run? How about steal second base? That's number 1. Number 2, after the Dodgers score full runs, let it all out, my man. Let it all out. Let it all out. Let it breathe. Why don't you have Clayton Kershaw pitch the 7th inning with a 4-2 lead? I mean, yeah, I was thinking that too. I still think they took him out at the right time, especially when you consider that you're trying to prolong him. Man, Clayton Kershaw is the only Dodgers pitcher that hasn't made an IL stint. If you can find some wood out there, please feel free to knock on that. He's the only Dodgers starting pitcher that hasn't had a stint on the IL. And yeah, I mean, look, you would think that would be okay. Clayton Kershaw, I mean, at 97 pitches, did have some high stress innings. I'm okay with the pull there, but still, I mean, it's more a microcosm of the issues that are within the bullpen. But yeah, appreciate that long essay, man. This could be an op-ed in the LA Times. This is why the Dodgers will never win a regular season 162-game championship with Dave Roberts as a manager. He stinks. Everybody can see it except for the Dodger management. That is from Chad Safra over on Facebook. We got the AC/DC freak. Barnes was not the issue tonight. JD struck out twice with guys in scoring position. Yeah, AC/DC freak, you bring up a great point. I mean, look, JD Martinez has been fantastic, but he's going to have his off nights too, and that's the thing. You're not going to have every single one of your hitters hot at the same time. You didn't have Will Smith in the lineup. This team struggles when Will Smith's out of the lineup. And you saw today, not enough offense for this Dodger team. They go 7 for 34 on the night, and they go 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. And JD Martinez, he goes 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Betts goes 1 for 2. Rojas 0 for 1. Barnes 0 for 2. Peralta 0 for 2. Hayward 1 for 1. Taylor 0 for 1. They'll have 10 Dodgers on base, so that's not going to get it done. If you look at the flip side, the White Sox go 4 for 12, just got more base hits. I mean, 13 hits. They had to have 13 hits. I mean, the hits per 9 for the Dodgers team, it is worse than the league. I mean, it's death by paper cuts because their pitchers just do not dominate hitters. But we got terrible at-bats with men in scoring position tonight, at least bunt or run over. Yeah, we pointed out, I mean, the first pitch swings there in the 5th. The first pitch swings the lack of quality at bats. It was bad tonight. And we saw that again and again. And they just weren't able to capitalize. I mean, save for the 4-run inning there in the 6th, just not enough from this Dodgers team throughout this one. So, yeah, the offense, they have been one of the better offenses in the game this year, but tonight, I mean, you definitely left some runs out there, especially when the opposing team is scoring 8 runs. I mean, if you look at later in the game, they had more opportunities, and yeah, I mean, they're in the top of the 8th. I mean, top of the 8th is really kind of where it all fell apart there. Of course, you got the Jimenez double to right, the Berger homer to left. Alex Vesia, he comes in. He has Benintendi on he had 2 strikes on Benintendi on a 1-2 count, and he hits him. He hits him right there with a 4-seam fastball up and in. And, yeah, if you're Alex Vesia, that arm side command just is not there, and he comes back to strike out Grandal with a 4-seam fastball, challenging him middle of the zone. Kind of missed on that pitch. He's kind of lucky got away with one. And then Benintendi, he goes to second on a wild pitch by Vesia. So Vesia was a Messia in that inning once again. You got the hit batter. You got the wild pitch. So you can't even do the small things right? I mean, we're worrying about trying to avoid the heart of the plate and throwing strikes and getting better and attacking hitters. You're hitting batters. You are throwing wild pitches. You're letting runners steal against you. It's the little things that are, aside from the pitching itself, that are hurting the Dodgers. So it's a lot of different things. And then Brusdar Graterol, he comes in. He gets Andrews to ground into a fielder's choice to third. Frazier, there he's out at second. But Frazier, he singled to center, and that made it 5-4. So that made it 5-4 after, of course, the Burger home run tied things at 4, and then the Frazier single. I mean, you're talking about the Dodgers' inability to finish off hitters. Why don't you finish off hitters? Well, because you can't miss bats. When you don't miss bats, like everyone always says, the pitcher's best friend. What's this cliche in baseball? The pitcher's best friend is the double play ball, right? No. The pitcher's best friend is missing bats. It's striking out hitters, because when you miss bats, you don't get the flukiness. When you don't have the BABIP gods torturing you, right? You can go out there and punch guys out and dominate hitters, and you saw right there, that's a 4-pitch at bat. I mean, that's a 9 pitch at bat there, a 9 pitch at bat there, and he's up in the count 0-2. Third pitch, foul ball. Fourth pitch, a ball, slider, misses. Fifth pitch, 4-seam fastball, middle of the plate, fouls it off. Sixth pitch, slider, misses badly. Seventh pitch, another 4-seam fastball. So he's not getting that 4-seam fastball by hitters, is Alex Vesia. Then the slider fouls it off. 9th pitch, 4-seam fastball. He rears it up, but still he hits it, and that put the White Sox ahead. Brusdar Graterol comes in. He gets Andrews into the fielder's choice, and then he gets then they caught Andrews stealing to second. So, yeah, that's definitely a Mitch Lotta half-full take. They actually stopped the runner. And then bottom of the 8th inning, Dodgers Rojas, he grounded to second. Barnes drew a 1-out walk. Betts flied to left. I mean, look at that at-bat by Mookie Betts. I mean, another aggressive at-bat. He swung on the second pitch. He fouls off the changeup. Second pitch, he flies out. And then Freeman, he strikes out, swing on 3 pitches. So the tip of the spear, the top of the Dodgers lineup, of course, Mookie, he comes through against Joe Kelly, but not enough. And then top of the 9th inning, I mean, Anderson's not a big league pitcher. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Anderson, he grounded to first. Vaughn, he walked him on 4 pitches. Just no sinker command. I mean, just a terrible sequence there. And then Robert Jr., he doubled to left. Next batter, Jimenez, runners on second and third. He singled to center. That scored Vaughn. Robert advanced to third. That made it 6-4 White Sox. And then Berger, he strikes him out swinging. Then Gonzalez comes in. He strikes out Berger on 3 pitches. And then the Taylor Scott strikes him out on 3 pitches. Then Victor Gonzalez comes in, and then Benintendi singled to left to make it 8-4. Then Grandal singled to left, and then they finally got the inning on a fielder's choice. And then bottom of the 9th, they go out quietly. Martinez, he flied to center. Peralta walked, and then Chris Taylor, he grounded into a double play. So rough night for your Los Angeles Dodgers, and this bullpen, they need to fix it. How they fix it? Well, one, you got to explore the trade deadline. I mean, Joe Kelly was out there. His ERA is up. Will he be a piece? This White Sox team, I mean, I was hoping to bury this team. They're 6 games back in the division. Well, hey, a win today, you got to feel better about that. I don't know if you caught the in-game interview with Lucas Giolito, but he was waxing poetic. I mean, talking about how much he looked up to Clayton Kershaw, how he grew up at Dodger Stadium. I mean, this guy looked like he was desperate to be a Dodger. So, Lucas Giolito, I am all for a potential trade for Lucas Giolito. Actually, I'm dropping a video on the possibility of that tomorrow, so look out for that. But, yeah, you're going to have to go out there and try to get guys. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what the Dodgers are able to do, and I think you need multiple pieces at this point. I think Josh Staumont is a really interesting piece. His ERA's up, but I think that the Dodgers coaching, when you look at the high velocity, Josh Staumont is a guy that I'm interested in going after if I'm the Dodgers, but I'm releasing a whole list tomorrow. But thanks for helping us through these rough times, D-Mac. Hey, you guys helped me just as much, Bill Solace, because, yeah, it's not fun to lose in this fashion. But Hudson's not the answer. That's from AC/DC Freak. Worst loss of the year, Ron Jerica. I definitely think you can make that case for sure. I think the walk-off losses last week, 3 of the 4, those are road games, right? Even though they're tough, they're road games. This is against a White Sox team that, from a run standpoint, they're one of the worst in the league. And yes, they've played better of late. They've won 6 out of their last 10 games coming into today, but still, this is a White Sox team that doesn't walk a lot, that has underperformed all season long, and you would expect this Dodger team to come out there and get some wins because they're supposed to be the best team at home, right? That's what their record indicates throughout the season, but that certainly was not the case tonight. And you're talking about a White Sox offense that came out there after a gutsy Clayton Kershaw performance. This is not on Kershaw tonight at all, but that White Sox offense, I mean, they're 22nd in the league in runs scored after tonight. So really before tonight, they're right in the mix with the Padres and the Nationals. So it's not like there's some explosive offense, but vote Will Smith. Great point, Jesse Hopkins. I'm going to do that a comment of the night too. Definitely vote for Will Smith. Clayton Kershaw for Dodger Dog of the game. Absolutely, from Andre Medina.
Dodger Dog of the game.
He did not look right. We got Victor Baños in the 6th. We have a shot at to break it open the game, but JD had an awful at-bat. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough at-bat also, too. I mean, interesting because Clevenger, of course, he gets hurt. He has to kind of wait out. First pitch to Santos. He ends up chasing. But yeah, he was actually chasing and expanding outside of the zone all night was JD Martinez. But yeah, guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll get a couple more comments here. We'll let you out. We're going to try to do as many shows as I possibly can. So we're going to save some of the other stuff for the other episodes as well. So be sure to tune in, dropping some more stuff tomorrow here late at night. By the way, it was a long game. Anyone know the time of game, the time of day? Because, yeah, it was definitely a longer game today. It felt like it was baseball from the past, like pre-pitch clock era. But, yeah, I mean, if you talk about a Dodger, like final thoughts is just like the Dodgers bullpen, they allowed 6 runs. I mean, 6 runs. The Dodgers bullpen now a 4.9 ERA. That's last in the National League and 29th in all of Major League Baseball. I mean, look, you are what your numbers say you are, and they're absolutely terrible. And yeah, I mean, it was just a rough game. I mean, it was just a rough game for this Dodgers team. You had the 4-run 6th inning from the Dodgers offense, but that was it. Clayton Kershaw, this guy is a workhorse, man. This guy's a workhorse. It was not on him. Clayton Kershaw, he went out there, he put his team on his back, just wasn't able to get the run support. And, yeah, the bullpen, that's really the number one story. This bullpen is struggling. Yes, you need to cover more innings from your starters, but still, they had 3 innings to cover today. And Almonte, he needed just 10 pitches there in the 7th. And Dave Roberts said, that was quick enough to send him back out there in the 8th. We saw it happen, the Eloy Jimenez double, the Berger home run. It was just a hanging sweeper there, just a bad pitch. And then you bring in Alex Vesia, who his struggles continue on. I mean, yeah, it was bad. We kind of broke that down. But White Sox, I mean, they got 3 insurance runs there in the 9th with the heart of the order there against Taylor Scott and Victor Gonzalez. So that is going to do it. So the losing pitcher, Alex Vesia, he goes an inning and 3rd. And you got the home runs by Berger and Luis Rod. But tomorrow, you got the Dodgers. They wrap up the series. Final game of the series against the White Sox. You got Michael Grove on Thursday night going up against Dylan Cease, the White Sox ace-level pitcher. So that should be very interesting. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation postgame show. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. We'll do a couple more comments here before we get out of this one. We got Emar, I've heard from my sources. We got Matthew, 499, appreciate you. Crazy, and this division is heating up, especially the Padres. Great point, Matthew. We got, let's vote for Will Smith. That's from Leonardo Blanco. Dodgers pitchers should wear garter belts to lift their curse. Interesting. Bring back Rick Honeycutt. D-Mac is Will Smith. He does look a little bit like him. Now that you mentioned that, we got good shape until the bullpen comes in. Same old story. That's from Cesar. But yeah, guys, thanks for rocking with us here. Just win, baby. Thank you for being there. Sound sounding board. Let's go blue from Roy Estrada. As always, guys, Leonardo Blanco, let's vote for D-Mac for the All-Star game, a.k.a. Will Smith. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Dodgers lose to the Chicago White Sox. They're still 3 games back in the division thanks to a loss from the Diamondbacks. The D-backs fell to the Phillies. LA 38-30 on the season, hovering at a 90-win pace at this point. The Dodgers bullpen, an absolute dumpster fire. But remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.